I'm about to show you 4 specific mortgage mistakes that will guarantee you lose your home and get stuck with the payments after divorce. I've personally helped divorce attorneys structure these exact traps, and I've watched them destroy men's lives systematically. As a woman who's seen both sides of divorce court, I know exactly how the system works against you. Make sure you watch until the end, because one of these mortgage mistakes is happening in your house right now. And if you're already separated or talking about divorce, you're probably already trapped in mistake number 3 without even knowing it. Before I walk you through these financial traps, I just have a small favor to ask. Subscribe to this channel so you'll know exactly what to do when your wife starts talking about fair mortgage solutions. Hit that like button and let me know in the comments, what city are you watching from? It's always amazing to see how many men are dealing with these same divorce tactics everywhere. Now, let's dive into the first mortgage mistake that's destroying men's financial futures. Mistake number 1, refinancing to buy her out early. The first mistake that destroys men is rushing to refinance and buy out her half before the divorce is final. You think you're being fair by refinancing to give her cash for her equity, but you're actually giving her a free exit while trapping yourself with 100% of the debt. She walks away with a lump sum payment while you're stuck with mortgage payments you can barely afford alone. Here's the trap. During separation, she suggests refinancing to make things easier. You apply for a new mortgage based on your solo income, maxing out your debt-to-income ratio. The bank approves you, but they don't factor in future alimony payments. Once you refinance, the court sees this as evidence you can afford the full mortgage. This becomes permanent documentation used against you in alimony calculations. The courts see your refinance as proof you can afford the full mortgage, which becomes your permanent responsibility regardless of any other financial obligations they assign you later. I remember one case where a guy refinanced their $400,000 house to pay her $200,000. 6 months later, the court still ordered him to pay her additional alimony because his refinance proved his higher income capacity. He ended up paying $2,800 monthly mortgage plus $1,500 monthly alimony on a $75,000 salary. He lost the house to foreclosure within 18 months, never agreed to refinance during separation. If she wants out, let the court handle the house division after all assets are evaluated together. The next mistake is something that 95% of divorcing women use to manipulate men emotionally. And it's designed to make you feel guilty while she sets you up for financial failure. Mistake number 2, keeping the house for the kids. The second mistake that destroys men is agreeing to keep the house for the children's stability when you can't afford the payments alone. She convinces you that disrupting the kids' living situation would be cruel, but she's actually setting up a scenario where you'll fail financially while she appears to be the responsible parent. The guilt manipulation makes you agree to payments that will destroy your credit within 2 years. This manipulation targets your love for your children. She'll say the kids have been through enough while calculating how much financial pressure this puts on you. She knows keeping you tied to unaffordable payments prevents you from building wealth or moving forward. The psychology is that men equate providing housing with being good fathers. She exploits this to make you choose between financial survival and your provider identity. I once analyzed a case where a teacher earning $45,000 agreed to keep their $1,800 monthly mortgage payment while paying $800 in child support. After taxes, utilities, and basic living expenses, he was negative $300 every month. He sold his car, borrowed from family, and eventually filed bankruptcy. She used his financial instability to petition for full custody, claiming he couldn't provide a stable environment. Pay attention to any suggestion that keeping the house benefits the children. If you can't afford the payment on your income alone, keeping the house actually harms your children's long-term financial security. Mistake number 3, not challenging her income claims during qualification. The third mistake that destroys men is allowing her to understate her income during mortgage qualification processes. During refinancing or loan modifications, she'll claim she's unemployed or underemployed to make your solo income look more stable to lenders. You think you're helping her avoid financial scrutiny, but you're actually accepting full financial responsibility for debt she could easily help cover. When couples apply for mortgage modifications during divorce, lenders evaluate both incomes. If she claims she's temporarily unemployed, the lender calculates payments based on your income alone, making you appear solely responsible. She often has unreported income or family support that doesn't appear on documents. While claiming poverty to the mortgage company, she maintains her lifestyle through hidden sources. The courts use these mortgage qualification documents as evidence of each party's financial capacity. If the mortgage paperwork shows she has minimal income, this becomes her official financial profile for alimony and child support calculations. I remember one case where a woman claimed she was between jobs during their mortgage modification application. The husband qualified a loan for the reduced payments. Later, we discovered she had been running an online business, earning $3,000 monthly throughout the entire process. The mortgage documents showing her zero income became the foundation for her receiving $2,200 monthly alimony. Never allow income misrepresentation during any mortgage process. Demand full financial disclosure and insist that both incomes be accurately reported to lenders and courts. This final mistake is the most devastating one, and 99% of men fall for it because divorce attorneys actually coach women to use this exact strategy during mortgage negotiations. Mistake number 4, agreeing to temporary payment arrangements. The fourth mistake that destroys men is agreeing to temporary mortgage payment arrangements that become permanent court orders. She suggests that you handle the full mortgage payment just until the divorce is finalized, to keep things simple, but this temporary arrangement becomes legal precedent that courts use to determine your permanent financial obligations. Family courts operate on precedent. If you've been making full mortgage payments for months during proceedings, the court sees this as evidence these payments are sustainable long-term. These arrangements often include utilities, insurance, and maintenance costs without clear definition. You're accepting responsibility for complete home ownership costs while she contributes nothing. The psychology behind this trap is that it appears reasonable and temporary. She frames it as keeping things stable during an already stressful time. Men agree because it seems like a short-term solution that avoids conflict. I once analyzed a case where a man agreed to cover their $2,400 mortgage temporarily during a 6-month divorce process. When they reached final negotiations, his attorney discovered he'd been paying $3,200 monthly total, including taxes, insurance, and utilities. The court ruled that since he'd managed these payments for 6 months, they represented his sustainable payment capacity. This became his permanent obligation, despite the divorce settlement giving her half the home equity. Pay attention to any suggestion of temporary payment arrangements. Courts don't distinguish between temporary and permanent when establishing your financial capacity. By the time you're signing refinance papers during divorce proceedings, you're not being fair or responsible. Each mortgage decision during separation is a potential trap that will leave you homeless and broke. Your financial security is worth more than avoiding conflict, and your future is too valuable to sacrifice for temporary peace. When someone's divorce strategy involves mortgage manipulation, they've already shown you this isn't about fairness. If these mortgage protection tips helped you see the traps, subscribe so you won't miss the daily videos that could save your financial future. Hit that like button and share your experience in the comments. Have you already fallen into any of these mortgage mistakes during your separation or divorce? Your story could help another man avoid the same financial destruction.